At the age of 13, I got to go through an operation to remove the cataracts on my right eye. At the age of 17, I did the same operation on my left eye. By the age of 21, I discovered that my right eye couldn't see any longer. Fast forward to 2013, my only working left eye was diagnosed with sympathetic autonomia, a condition that causes the eyes to have inflammation. There are times that when I go out of the house, but once I reach the bus stop, because of the brightness of the sun, I could not see the bus number, so that I got to end up coming home myself. Somehow, I think because of this condition, I become quite insecure. I live in constant fear, and I become quite a negative person because of all this negative emotion. And this in turn caused me to have not so good relationship with people around me. As a grapple with my own health issue, my dad was diagnosed with last stage liver cancer in April 2016. As it was last stage, doctor advised us to make him on palliative care treatment. Then I was thinking to myself, with my own health condition, how am I supposed to take care of my dad when I can't even take care of myself?
We were very shocked at the sudden turn of event. After all, doctor had given us 1 year that our father could live, and then became 6 months and even shorter. So when we stepped into the ward that he was in, actually I was quite surprised that I felt a very tangible sense of God's peace, because prior to that he rejected prayer. So we actually held his hand and prayed with him to receive Jesus together.
Looking back at my whole dad's life, but I think I really thank God for His grace, compassion, love and mercy onto my dad's life, that he accepted Jesus just exactly 24 hours before he passed on. Just when I thought that things were starting to get better, on October 2017, I discovered that my vision deteriorated very fast. I went to see the doctor. He diagnosed that it was a cornea issue and the cornea can no longer function on its own, and I do need a cornea transplant. I was really devastated when I hear this, because basically the fear of really going blind is really here. Slowly, I begin to lose my independence. I can't even go out on my own anymore. I feel so useless. I think basically putting myself as an inconvenience to people around me, especially my wife. Yeah, when I was in the operation theatre, the doctor said that I had some infection in my body, so he got to cancel the procedure. A second procedure was scheduled again. But 1 week prior to that, I take some blood tests and discovered that there's some liver abnormality, so that the procedure need to be put on hold until I clear the blood test. When these two things came together, I was pretty devastated. I feel, God, what is going on? It seems that everything is in place, but right now it seems that everything is heading southwards.
So at one night, when the result was due to be out the following morning, the night before, I found that I had a very heavy heart and I couldn't get to sleep. Yeah, so that night when I was listening to just a worship song, I felt him reminding me of how he was struggling also in Gethsemane when he prayed, if you're willing, let this cup pass by me, yet not as I will, but as the Father wills. It was not easy to surrender the result wholly to God. You cannot control what happens in the future. You cannot even foresee what is to come, and things that you pray for just don't get answered the way that you want to. That's where you just have to continue to trust God. I mean, one day at a time, one step at a time, one prayer at a time. So 13 July 2018, the day that we have been anticipating with much eagerness and anxiety, the day of the transplant. So after Desmond was wheeled into the operating theatre, tears were just rolling down my face uncontrollably. All the burden, the anxiety that I have carried up to that point, it just broke like a dam. I stumbled upon this song. It's entitled Peace, that God just used to minister to me and strengthen me, and that when it was time to go and meet Desmond again after the procedure, I found sufficient strength to just pluck myself up and got to see him, and we thank God that the operation went well. It was a success, and that even after the anesthesia wear off, his pain was not very strong, so we thank God for that. When I consider the challenges my family went through for the past 5-6 years, one after another, I realized that one thing is true, that I indeed need God more than the very breath of life. I need the love of God, I need the presence of God in my life, so much more than any other things in this world.
For the past few years, it has really been tough for us. There's really many adjustments that we really need to make due to my ever-changing eye condition. But despite all this negative feeling and all this negative external factor that we have, one thing is stand tall, and it's true that no matter what happens, God will show up at the end of the day. He has become so real to me all this while. Every morning I wake up not knowing what to expect. Every morning I wake up, I do not know whether my eye can see. But one thing is sure is that as I wait upon the Lord, He will show up and He will bring me through on a daily basis without fail. After working with the Lord for this past 7 years with my eye condition, I can be very sure that I might not know what is happening next. Neither the doctor nor I know what will happen to the eye. But one thing I'm very sure is that God is in control. No matter what happens next, He will show up when it's needed.